How does the KonMari folding thing work when you've got kids? I'll show you. Come on. I'm going to show you some folds. Then we're going to come back and take a look inside the dressers and see what it actually looks like in the drawers with the kids. My kids are 6, 4, and 2, so you're going to see a little bit of a spectrum of tidiness along the way. Now, it is an art and not a science. For some things, hanging really will just work better. For example, for my girls, I hang their dresses because it's just a lot to fold. They're into the flowy skirts thing, and anyway. And I also hang their sweaters and cardigans just because of a drawer space issue. They both share this dresser behind me, so there's, I need more space than I have sometimes. And the sweaters and cardigans they usually are wearing with their dresses anyway, so keeping those together in the closet works best for us. Now if you have a bigger dresser, you may choose that differently, and that's all about fitting the system to your space. So, for my son, he's 2, so he has toddler-sized clothes still. And with him, I hang his little tiny suits because I like to keep all the pieces together, and they're just so cute. I like seeing it all hung up. I also hang his knit sweaters and little tiny sweater vests, and that is a bulk versus size issue. They're too bulky for as small as they are to really fold up nicely, so I hang them. It works. Be sure to check out my KonMari playlist for the other videos in this series, and subscribe so you don't miss anything new. Let's get to that folding.
I cover a lot of the basics and some general tips in the adult clothes video, but in general, good folding is all about rectangles. You're always aiming to make a rectangle. We'll start simple, the t-shirt. Flip it face down and fold lengthwise into thirds, tucking the sleeves in if necessary. Then fold the bottom towards the top so that you're folding it into thirds again. This is an 18-month size shirt, but the method carries up to about size 6 or 7. Long sleeve shirts are very much the same, just with an extra fold for the sleeves. If you're folding a shirt with buttons down the front, just make sure that you fasten up the buttons first so you have a solid piece of fabric to work with. Starting about size 6, it starts very much the same, but it just finishes up a little different. In larger sizes, I'll fold it in half, leave a little space to account for things moving a little in the final fold. Then half again, since the extra length makes it floppy. Hoodies I wouldn't try smaller than 2T, just for bulk. They fold pretty much just like long sleeves, but you'll need to tuck in the hood too. Make sure you zip it up before you start so that you have a solid piece to work with if your hoodie has a zip. Because of the bulk, you'll want the sides to meet in the middle rather than overlap. As they get bigger, they'll start overlapping. At this size, I just fold it in half, but again, as they get into larger sizes, you'll be able to fold it into thirds without it being too bulky. Jeans and other pants, super easy. More structured pants can get folded leg to leg and then directly into thirds. Tuck in that little crotch flap for a tidier finish. Above 4T, you'll start folding it into fourths instead of thirds at the end. Leggings can be a little complicated because they're floppy. I'll show you 3 sizes: 18 months, 2T, and 7/8. They all start just like the jeans, but 18 months is the last size they really stand up, just folded in third. At 2T, you'll start folding in half, tuck in the crotch, and in half again. This works through size 6. After size 6, you'll fold in half, still tucking in that crotch, then in thirds. For the larger sizes, you could also roll after that first fold, but personally, I think it looks neater folded than rolled. Shorts are super easy, just like jeans. You can do it this way at least up to 7/8, though floppier fabrics might need extra folds. If your kids love skirts, no problem. Just go top to bottom, then fold in the wings. Remember, rectangles. Then fold in thirds and stand up. It works exactly the same on tutus and skorts. Now for some tricky stuff: overalls, pajamas, and the little bits. I didn't do rompers in this one, but will in the baby video because they're more of a baby item to me. Don't even try overalls smaller than 18 months. It's too bulky. That said, there's a couple ways that work. These are 2T, but they get easier as they get bigger. Like everything else, start face down, then build that rectangle. You can then bring the legs to the top and fold along the crotch. That makes a pretty big package though, so I typically fold it like this instead. Still starts the same, fold down the top, but the legs this time you'll only fold about to the crotch. Then fold again so the edges meet. Finally, fold along the crotch and stand up. It's still bulky, but smaller and I think a little tidier. You will not believe how easy it actually is to fold footie pajamas. Remember, you just need to make a rectangle and everything works out. First step, fasten it so you're working with solid fabric. If it's a snap front, you can do every other button to save time. Flip it, then fold the sleeves in horizontally across the top. Then, flatten out the feet and bring the heels to the shoulder. This will take some fiddling, but the more you do it, the faster you will get. Then we'll fold it in half lengthwise, and finally bottom to top. This will work from newborn up to 3T. For 4T and up, just need an extra fold. Up to the point that you fold it lengthwise, it's exactly the same. You can still fold them bottom to top, but most drawers aren't that deep. All you need to do is fold it in thirds instead. And there you have it, nice, neat, footie pajamas. Feels a little bit like witchcraft, doesn't it? Nightgowns can be folded really easily too. I'll show you a short sleeved one, but long sleeves would just get folded in either like the footie pajamas or a long sleeve shirt. So, face down, bring the sides in, add a bit of an angle because the bottom is wider than the top. Same story, fold it in half, then thirds or halves if you prefer. There's several ways to fold a nightgown so it stands, so experiment. I prefer mine like this. I just feel like it's a slightly neater package in the end. And it shows off the cute ruffle. So, bonus! Tights, frankly, are kind of a pain. They're not hard, just annoying. Start by matching the legs, one atop the other. Then you take the toes to the waistband, tuck in any straggly bits, then in thirds, or roll if you prefer. Longer tights may need more folds, but that's it. Socks are another easy one though. Even tiny baby socks. Watch. Fold in half. Good enough. Maybe not that time. Or you can fold it in thirds if you want. These are toddler socks, but the concept works all the way up to adult socks. Underpants are just about as easy. You just take crotch to waist, fold in the wings, making a rectangle. Then you can either just fold in half side to side, or you can roll it in thirds from the bottom. You can do this face down too if there's a character on the front you'd like to show. So now you've probably got a couple questions. Probably those two questions. So now that we've seen how to do it, let's have a look at the drawers. This is my son's dresser. He's 2 and doesn't get his own clothes out without help for the most part. I just put his laundry away, so this is a perfect state of folding right now. KonMari suggests putting the dark and heavy items toward the front and lighter items toward the back, so for the most part, I did that so you could see. Very rarely do I actually reset it that way because he has so few clothes. I never bother with his socks. Looks pretty good, right? He's got extra space in every drawer, and only 3 drawers even have clothes in them. The 4th drawer has his crib sheets, and the last one has toys in it. My girls' drawers I've left untouched, so this is how they really look after they've been in and out of them. You can see the 6-year-old's is pretty well still tidy, though there is stuff missing. The laundry is overflowing in here. The 4-year-old's isn't too bad either, though you can tell she's a little rougher on the drawer picking through. Just tosses stuff back in when she decides not to wear it.
Honestly, while it's kind of counterintuitive, the more full you can keep the drawer, the tighter it will stay. There's just not the space for the kids to go in and make a big mess. Drawer dividers can be helpful too, but they're not really necessary if you have a pretty full drawer. With my kids, they almost always ended up becoming weapons, so we skip it. Aiming for about 70% full seems to be the sweet spot. Full enough that it stays tidy, but not so full that everything's crammed in together. Plus, it leaves some space for when, you hit a garage sale and you find that super cute shirt that your 4-year-old just needs, or grandma swings by and she picked up a few things for the kids. Keeping it about 70% full gives you space to add new finds in there as well. What do you struggle to fold, or are you a hanging enthusiast? Let me know down in the comments. Alright, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out that playlist and subscribe. I've got a folding baby things video on the way, so if that is something you struggle with, make sure you keep an eye out. Bye guys, see you next time. I'm going to show you some folds, and then I'm going